Hello and welcome to the Minimum Competence episode for Tuesday, February 11th, 2025. I'm your host for today, Andrew Leahy, a tax and technology attorney from New Jersey. On today's episode, we cover the CFPB's shutdown, legal battles over Musk's access to federal data, and growing concerns about conflicts of interest in governmental oversight. Let's remember, the owl of Minerva spreads its wings only with the falling of the dusk, and read today's legal news. On this day in legal history, February 11th, 1847, Thomas Edison was born, eventually becoming one of the most prolific inventors in history. While best known for innovations like the phonograph and the incandescent light bulb, Edison's impact extended well beyond technology. He played a major role in shaping intellectual property law. Over his lifetime, he was granted 1,093 U.S. patents, making him one of the most successful patentees in American history. His aggressive pursuit of patent protection and enforcement helped define modern patent law, particularly in the fields of invention, ownership, and licensing. Edison was no stranger to legal battles. He frequently sued competitors for patent infringement, ensuring that his company, General Electric, maintained control over key technologies. One of his most significant legal disputes involved motion picture technology. His company used patents to create a near monopoly on filmmaking equipment, leading to the formation of the Motion Picture Patents Company, or MPPC, also known as the Edison Trust. This organization aggressively enforced its patents, preventing independent filmmakers from using essential equipment without licensing fees. However, Edison's legal tactics also sparked resistance. Independent filmmakers and rival inventors challenged his monopolistic control, leading to court rulings that gradually weakened the MPPC. In 1915, a federal court ruled against Edison's film patents, breaking up his trust and setting a precedent for future antitrust actions in the entertainment industry. Edison's extensive use of patent law demonstrated both its protective power and its limits, influencing later legal battles over intellectual property. His legacy continues to shape debates over patent rights, innovation, and monopolistic practices in technology and media. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was established in 2010 to oversee financial institutions and protect consumers from abusive practices. It played a key role in regulating mortgage lenders, payday loan companies, and credit reporting agencies, introducing rules against predatory lending, deceptive banking fees, and unfair debt collection practices. The agency was instrumental in holding financial institutions accountable after the 2008 financial crisis, issuing billions in fines and refunds for consumers. Over the weekend, the CFPB was effectively shut down under the leadership of Acting Chief Russell Vogt, who suspended all oversight activities, halted its funding, and closed its headquarters. His actions were met with swift legal challenges from the National Treasury Employees Union, which argued that gutting the agency violated congressional authority. Critics condemned the move as a severe rollback of consumer protections, leaving banks and lenders without federal oversight. The agency's dismantling also raised concerns about conflicts of interest. Elon Musk's Department of Governmental Efficiency, or Doge, was granted administrative access to CFPB systems, a controversial move given that Musk's platform, X, is looking to enter financial services. Union officials claim Musk is trying to take control of his own regulator. The situation has drawn protests from agency workers and legal threats from advocacy groups who argue the actions amount to a systematic effort to remove consumer protections. A federal judge declined to block Musk's Department of Governmental Efficiency from accessing the U.S. Department of Labor's systems, dealing an early blow to unions opposing his efforts to shrink the federal workforce. The lawsuit brought by the AFL-CIO argued that Musk could gain access to sensitive government investigations into his own companies, Tesla, SpaceX, and The Boring Company, as well as information about competitors. However, U.S. District Judge John Bates ruled that the union had not yet demonstrated harm, though he expressed concerns about the situation. AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler called the decision a setback but vowed to present stronger evidence. Critics argue that Musk's access to government data, including labor investigations and economic statistics, poses a serious conflict of interest. The White House maintains that Musk will recuse himself from matters involving his businesses, but as a special government employee, he is not subject to full federal ethics rules. Doge's growing authority has sparked alarm, and rightly so, with unions and advocacy groups challenging its reach. Another lawsuit has temporarily halted Doge's access to Treasury Department records over concerns about unauthorized data sharing. Meanwhile, Musk has already moved to shutter the U.S. Agency for International Development, canceling contracts and leases as part of his broader push to restructure federal agencies. And with that, and as always, I thank you so much for listening to Minimum Competence, your daily news podcast for lawyers. If you're looking for more than Minimum Competence, links to further reading on all the topics touched on today are in the show notes. And reviews go a long way towards helping new listeners to find our show. If you have a moment and can leave a rating or review on your podcast player, we'd sure appreciate it. And if you know someone that might be interested in a story we cover, consider sending them the episode. But remember, nothing here should be construed as legal advice because it is certainly not that. Minimum Competence is available at minimumcomp.com and wherever it is you get your finely crafted podcasts. If you haven't checked out the website in a while, give it a look. There are complete transcripts and resources for each episode and its corresponding segments, as well as an opportunity to receive new episodes in email, newsletter, form. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and until then, remember, the early bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese.